I still don't see it though.
Oh, yep. It's live.
All right.
On my Facebook?
Yep, it's live on Facebook.
We live on Facebook. Okay.
We live on Facebook, G. We in there.
We live. Okay, yes. We live.
We made.
Shout out to everybody. We live on YouTube. We live on Facebook. We got 2 viewers. The official episode of Uncut and Uncorked, Season 1, Black Love. Shout out to everybody that's here. We got 9 viewers. Oh man, this is amazing. I'm so nervous, but I'm excited at the same time.
Me too.
This is so dope. So we got 11 viewers. So shout out to everybody for tuning in. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties we had to handle. But we got through it. And so just want to welcome everyone to the show. This is the first episode of Uncut and Uncorked. This is Season 1, Black Love. It's your boy, Dwayne, a.k.a. Earthly Vine. So shout out to y'all, everybody, for tuning in. And on today's first episode, first of all, let me just explain kind of how the show will work really quick. And so how the show will work is that I created a show called Uncut and Uncorked, which is a show all about pairing good wine with good conversation, right? Pairing great wine with great conversation. And so my first season of Uncut and Uncorked, I'm going to be doing 8 episodes on Black love. And so within those 8 episodes, I'm going to be interviewing 8 couples about a specific topic when it comes to Black love. And on this first episode, live episode, I had to go get the family, okay? There was no other way I could do it. I had to go get the family, and so they could bless the platform on the first episode. This right here is my family. Been knowing Ryan for, over 20 years. Been knowing Dee for damn near 10 years. And so, like, it has been a beautiful and harmonious relationship with these two. So welcome, everyone. The lovely couple, the Wellingtons, Ryan and Dee Wellington. How are y'all doing today, y'all?
I'm great. Thanks for having us on here.
Definitely, bro. We appreciate it, man. Anytime anything that you do that we can support, we all with it. But more importantly, we're honored that you chose us to be your first guest, like on a world premiere of Uncut, Uncorked, bro. Like, we ready for it. Like, we're proud of you and we excited for what you're going to bring forth.
Yes, thank you, brother. I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That means so much. And so first and foremost, I want to give these two the proper introduction, right? So with Ryan, this guy, man, he is one of the hardest working brothers I know. He owns his own, company called Elevating Kings, which he's a life coach, by the way. So make sure you follow Elevating Kings. He got the shirt on right now. So make sure you follow him, right? Elevating Kings. He's also, he's a life coach. He's a father. He's a husband. And he's just an all-around great person. So shout out to my brother, Ryan. And then you got the queen herself, Miss Dee Wellington, where she's the owner of Back to Mama. She's the owner of Permeate Body Cares, which is a natural body care company. She is a vlogger. So follow D_Spire, I believe, on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So she's a vlogger. She's a mom. And she is a wife. She got you wear so many hats, D. Like, I can't even at this moment. So it's just like, woo, you do everything under the sun. So shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all follow them. I'm going to be posting their social media here. When this video is done on the playback, I'm going to post their social media on my YouTube so guys can go back and follow them and everything. So Elevating Kings, D Spires on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So make sure y'all get with them. So as y'all know, Uncut and Uncorked is a show all about wine. And so we do got some good wine going on right here. And so I'm drinking right now the Sauvignon Blanc. It's a Bianchi Sauvignon Blanc, 2018. It's a fruity wine from California. It's only about $12, very affordable. So if y'all want to go ahead and pick that up, feel free to go ahead and pick that up. It's a really good wine, really, really, really good wine. But I want to get into the topic at hand, right? Art of communication. So we're talking about communication, y'all. I felt like personally with Black love, right? Like, I feel like Black love gets a negative stigma, and I wanted to highlight Black love in a positive light because, there's always some type of misconceptions when it comes to Black love. So I want to give y'all the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to give it all. And I knew Dee and Ryan would do that, which is why I invited them. They're not going to make Black Love look perfect, but they're also going to make Black Love look good like they do. And so that's why we got them on here. So, yeah. So we're going to start with the first question, right? And the question I wanted to ask you all is just kind of explain how you each communicated before coming together, right? So what was your communication style when, before coming together, right? And then how did y'all have to adjust that to each other, like coming together with each other? And D, we'll start with you, D, if you want to.
Come on, I'm nervous. You know I'm nervous.
Okay. All right, Ryan, we'll start with Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
What was our communication like prior? It was a mess.
Well, no, I guess so. We'll say this. How was your communication before meeting Ryan? Like, how did you communicate in relationships with other people? And then how did you, when you entered a relationship with Ryan, how was that different? And then how did you have to adjust based on entering that space with Ryan?
Okay. We met when I was probably like 13. So
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so my communication was pretty much like that of a person who is 13. Like it was just like the right, like it was just like the typical
13-year, like you
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
As far as when we got together and how it changed, I had to be more open, of course. Like I had to talk more. I had to tell him how I felt. Because coming from a household where we didn't really talk about all of those type of things. Right. So when me and him met, I had to I would say come out of my comfort zone and tell him how I feel and all of those good things. So I'm gonna let him go.
Oh yeah, and for me it was I really had it was like a chance because we met so young. We got in a relationship so young, had kids so young, got married so young. So it was really I was maturing as our relationship began to basically ascend. So the biggest part for me and where I really seen the breakthrough for us as a couple was my ability not to be abusive with my ability to have charisma. So I had to really become an active listener. And when you become an active listener, you can really honestly get to a place of purity where you can listen and hear what the other person's trying to say. Not listen to respond, but listen to actually connect with them, to actually be entwined with their emotions or their thought process during that time. So for me, I had to really take a step back and eat some humble pie and be like, okay, this is the person I want to be with. This is the person I have children with. This is a person who's a person in herself. So I had to kind of take myself out of it and let her really to express herself in a way that she typically wouldn't do. And overall, that just allowed the communication to just elevate simply because she was deficient in that area. She was the type that wouldn't say nothing. She was shut down. She was kind of an introvert. So
shut down completely.
Yeah.
I'm not talking. No.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have that type of person, you have to aid to that because you don't want those type of emotions, type of feelings, that type of aura to be bottled up because nothing good comes out of holding that type of stuff in. So once you got that taken care of, it was just like night and day. It was
and
like
I would also add, let me think, probably when I had our first child, so around 16.
Okay.
I had to change how I talk to him.
Wow.
Because look, when I say I would get smart from
yeah.
I would I have talked to him so poorly. I'm sorry, but I have talked to him terrible.
Okay.
But
and I deserved it.
Yeah. But I have had to talk with him with compassion, with respect, with patience,
sympathy, empathy.
Yeah, I had to talk to him like he was important, and he was somebody who I needed in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to. change.
Okay. No, that's dope. That's dope. And it's crazy to see, like, you know, just the elevation of y'all communication throughout your relationship, because I know Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I know Ryan. Hey Ryan, can you move over just a little bit in the screen? I don't think. Yeah,
This way?
like right there. Yeah, you good right there. Yeah.
Are we good?
No,
Yep. You good right there, brother. But no, I know Ryan, and you know, I know younger Ryan at the same time too. So I know how younger Ryan could be in a sense when it comes to that. And I want to kind of get into some of that, right? I want to explain, like, what is, or I guess I want to ask a question, like, what is the part of communication where you struggle with the most individually, right? Like communication, like whether it's, you know, you holding something in, or whether it's you know, not taking the time you need before, like, maybe, you know, getting upset or something about something. Like, what area of communication do you feel like you're still struggling with, and then how are you trying to, like, work through that currently right now individually?
I got
You got okay.
For me, mine would be to process my emotions before talking. D, calm it down.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I come from a family where I didn't process stuff. Like I am just gonna tell you, and I mean, it's it. Like, yeah. So for me, it is to process my emotions before talking to Ryan. Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, I guess it's like actually unwinding, because I wear so many different hats, and because each situation that I look at, because I'm so in tune with the life coaching and uplifting other people, that I have the propensity to keep that same hat on when I'm in my own relationship or I'm just talking to my wife. So to me, it's kind of to take off those hats and be aware that when I have a conversation with my wife, I'm not talking to a client. When I'm talking to my wife, I'm not talking to someone I'm trying to pitch a business idea or I'm trying to consult with. So just remembering that at all time, that Ryan Wellington, the businessman, the life coach, the entrepreneur, the consultant, is different than Ryan Wellington, the person that is in front of my wife, the partner, and as a husband, because I have the propensity to start attacking those conversations as if I'm in a life coaching session, or as if I'm in a board meeting, or as I'm pitching an idea.
To coach
to coach, and it's like I don't need no coach right now. I need my husband. I need my husband. I need you for you to show up to me with me as a friend, or as a listener, as a husband, as a leader, as just someone who I'm connected to, a companion. I don't need a life coach. I don't need a consultant. I don't need a business savant. I need you. Yeah, so for me, that's why I just have to be mindful of that, and to remember to always put boundaries within not only our marriage, but in all the relationships. Make sure that I don't intertwine them at inappropriate times.
Yeah. And bro, so I guess my question is, how are you working to take that off? Like, how are you working to take the like with the life coach off, the you know, all of that? Like, how are you working to just, like, when you come through the door, you know, just strip off life coach, strip off all of that, and just give Ryan? You know what I'm saying?
So it's a subconscious thing that we're really dealing with. So when I don't really start researching this topic probably about a couple of days ago, probably about 2-3 days ago, talk about subconscious communication. So once I start understanding that this is not a consciousness, but this is my sub-psyche basically acting out, because I have certain words or certain tendencies, certain auras, certain things that trigger me, where the life coach will come out, the consultant will come out, the entrepreneur person will come out. So I have to retrain my subconscious to not to kind of be disciplined. Like, hey, at home with D, I'm not a consultant.
Yeah,
I'm a husband. I'm her partner. I'm her friend. So it's basically just retraining myself. Just always just using meditation or just process my information to train my mind to allow that type of parameter to happen. So it's a little bit of training. It's not easy to do, because anything that's worth training, it takes time, energy, and effort. But it's something that I'm willing to do, and something that I feel as though even in the beginning stages of doing this has been successful.
Wow, that's crazy. Thank you so much for sharing that, brother. Thank you so much, man. And for the people, you know, again, this is Uncut and Uncorked. So make sure y'all put in the comments what y'all drinking on, what wine y'all drinking on. Put in the comments any questions that y'all have, because we're gonna get to questions at the end. But make sure y'all put in the comments what y'all drinking on, so we can know what y'all drinking on. So we appreciate that if you can do that. But my next question is, right, how do you both, right? So there's always things that like are uncomfortable in a sense, right? Like, or there's always uncomfortable situations that come up, right? So uncomfortable things. So when you both have like uncomfortable things you need to talk to each other about, how do you go about that in a relationship? You know, like or you know, within your marriage, like Ryan, maybe, you know, or D, y'all had like maybe a big big move coming up or something like that. And Ryan's like, I just got this job offer or something like that. Like, this is uncomfortable. Like, how do y'all come to each other with those uncomfortable things and communicate effectively with each other when it's, you know, when those topics are kind of uncomfortable in a sense?
Us, we are just like honest. Like, I could tell him anything. Like,
yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Like, I just like
now,
yeah, like, I'm just honest.
Like right now, it's like it's easy for us because we're kind of like, if you imagine our communication within our relationship as a skyscraper. Right now we're at the penthouse, we're at the very top. So it's like communication and us being able to have the type of conversation are very easy to us because the work that we went in the past allowed us to get to this point. Yeah. So like now we can be vulnerable. We can talk about those type of things without any type of resolve or any type of backlash, without any type of judgment or condemnation. So it's like it's easy for us now. But before it wasn't easy because we it was always thinking, all right, how this other person going to react? Or are they going to be influenced by family? Or are they going to be influenced by their own decisions, their subconscious? And what exactly how that other person going to look? Now we're just so vulnerable and we're so open and we're so together, synchronized that we don't care. But it's like we're in a place of absolute peace, and we understand that other person is not going to react. That other person is not going to give an emotional trigger or emotional reaction based off of any type of information. And we don't put ourselves in positions where those conversations will be just weird or awkward because we're it's just that's water under the bridge at this point. So it's like now, like I said, we're at the penthouse, but you catch us 3 or 4 years ago, it would have been difficult because we're worried about how the other person may look, how we may look. We're worried about outside influences. We're worried about
someone is probably how someone will probably act. He could turn up, okay? Like, he could kind of act crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's so funny, because I
know. So, like, I would be kind of like, yo, I don't know how he is. I don't know how he is.
Going to react, but that had to go to me. So I had because we had to create that safe space where, like, I had to prove over a course of time, like, it don't matter if you crashed your car, it don't matter if you burnt like the stove up, it don't matter if you mishandled the finances, it doesn't matter what happened. I'm allow you to come to me and tell me, and even though if I want to like go off the wall, I'm gonna just say, D, give me 10 minutes. Let me get 10 minutes. And I go outside and I go shadow boxing against a tree real quick, get my stuff out or whatever, and I'll be good. I'm just saying for an example. I ain't saying nothing about that. But I'm like, that's how we do it. But now it's like we're just at this point we're just receiving the fruit of our labor over the course of our relationship. So
very true. No. Listen, man. Thank y'all for the raw honesty, right? Because I think that's a beautiful thing. Because I think a lot of people, they think like it's just so easy to get to where y'all at. But I wanna piggy off something that y'all said. Y'all said y'all in a state where y'all can be vulnerable with each other. Man, that's a beautiful place to be. Like, what was the journey for y'all to get there with each other? Like, because I know a smidge of it, but you know, just through Ryan and I conversation. But like, what was the journey for y'all to get to that space though?
Okay, so and I'm gonna be short-winded because that's a loaded topic within itself.
It really is.
So what worked for me and DeAndre when we really started seeing our relationship like soar is when we went down our individual journeys of self-love, and that's crucial. Once you become the best version of yourself, you become the best partner, the best wife, the best husband, the best father, the best mother, the best entrepreneur. So that journey of self-love is crucial. After the journey of self-love, it's the spiritual synergy that needs to happen. Now that you're at this peak, everyone needs to intertwine. And that's where we kind of been like maybe 2020 allowed us to really be more synchronized than we ever were before. Yeah. So so now we went through the journey, self-love. It was a synchronizing of our relationship, and it's now building upon that physically, emotionally, and spiritually simultaneously. Because you can't just pick one or the other at any given time. So like right now we're doing our first 10-day detox together.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
So that's
I got this glass of wine in my hand.
So now we're doing part of our body together for the first time. Yes. We always been throwing ideas off our mentors for like the last maybe 2 or 3 years. So like now we're doing that part of it, and even spiritually. And this is where I'm gonna get into this all in depth because it's another conversation itself. But even our communication within our relationship, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to all the different types of stuff, that all intertwines. That communication and that journey of self-love and the discipline that we talked about earlier, and the vulnerability to allow us to have this place in this platform where it's no walls, it's no type of expectations. So all those things play into that point. That's what got us to this place where we can actually be vulnerable, we can respect each other, our different perspectives, our different mindsets, but more importantly, we can always circle back in a loving way, have conversations that typically may be uncomfortable or we may not want to have.
Bro, oh man, y'all about to make me throw my hands up. That's because that's powerful, man. Like, and I think for me it hits home and it's so deep for me because like I know y'all, and like the fact that y'all are where y'all are and y'all can I know like y'all are at a phase where y'all can give, I don't want to cuss, but y'all can give 2 flying F's what people say about you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know y'all are at that space, and like when I talk to Ryan and I hear how happy he is, and when I see D dancing with, y'all children on YouTube, like, that's beautiful because that wasn't easy to get there. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that y'all went through the journey, y'all shedded the tears, you know what I'm saying? Y'all had conversations, y'all communicated, y'all went through what y'all went through. Like, that's beautiful. So I just gotta shout y'all for that. And y'all both, business owners as well too, which is a whole nother journey when it comes to Black love in itself, of on that financial journey of freedom together, which y'all both are on in a sense too. So it's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful, man. But I wanted to ask this question because shout out to my beautiful nieces and nephews. We got Mick, Renaya, all of them. Shout out to them. And I know y'all are wonderful parents. And I wanted to ask a question of how do you all communicate when it comes to parenting, right? Because I give you an example, right? I take, for instance, my first example of like synchronized parenting was probably the Cosby Show, right? That was probably like my first example of like synchronized parenting. And so when it comes to that, like, how do you all do that when you have to communicate with each other, when you got to discipline your child, when you have to talk to them about, school, about doing work, things of that nature? Like, what's that communication like to y'all? And then how do y'all communicate that to the kids as one, Or I would say this, as a united front.
I would say that we pretty much respect each other, and we kind of have like the same core principles. So it isn't like I'm all the way over here. Like, we kind of have the same core principles. And then
and we have different approaches, but the biggest piece is that we took what we seen in our parents, their successes and their failures, and we recognized them and how it affected us. So that's a conversation that me and her have almost every day. We look at what our parents did good and what our parents maybe could have done better, and with that we examine how we turned out, and we emulate in those moments. We add on to what our parents did good, and we kind of add on to what they could have done better, and make sure we switch up a little bit, and we emulate that to our children. So we always make sure that we communicate in front of our children, even because honestly, when the last time we really had like a fight, like an argument? Like, it's been a while, right? I can't think of the last time we had like an actual argument
where like I just
period,
like, just close down,
like period, just like an argument. It been months. I don't think it's been 2020 at all. I can't think of 2020 when we had like.
I don't think 2020 at all. 2020 was
good for us. So with that being said, so that's not even a good example, because we don't even fight anymore because we're at this place. But we will make sure that we'll always communicate in front of our children, even if it's something that we we are
like
comfortable with, because they need to see that. They need to see, hey, if I'm in a relationship, so what does communication?
How can we talk it out?
Talk it out, or what? How do we communicate with someone when emotions are involved? But more importantly, we show love and we show those communication skills, just as how we could talk to each other now. So we will always want to make eye contact. You want to always be passionate. You want to be vulnerable. We have to be that example, because that's the first thing our children are going to witness. So who better else is to give them an example? Who better else to lay that foundation to us? So when it comes to our children and showing them the art of communication and basically just showing love and emulating to them who we want them to be, that's for us to show them. So again, that journey of self-love and having that recognition that, hey, our children are looking and watching, that we always have to be transparent for one, but always build on what our parents were successful in and what they maybe could have done better, and make sure we build on both elements. That way our kids can become the best version of them.
That makes sense. Bro, that's powerful. That's powerful. That's so powerful. And you said something that really sticks out to me. And I just want to really quickly remind folks, yo, put in the comments what y'all drinking on really quick if y'all can. What wine y'all drinking on, if y'all have any questions, because we're gonna get to the question portion in the end as well. So but you talked about, your parents and communication, right? And for me, communication is something that I know I've struggled with in relationships. Like I know that about myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to talk about, or if you all, if you want to share, you don't have to, but
bro,
okay. I just gotta make sure. But no, what was your first introduction to communication like? And then how did that show up in your relationship? And then so hold on, this is kind of loaded right here. So what was your first introduction to communication, right? How did that definition show up in your relationship? And if it was a negative introduction, how did y'all have to overcome that to get to where you're at today?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, of course, it was from my parents, which I was fortunate to grow up in a two-parent household. So I was able to see from my father and my mother and examples from a very young age. So my parents, their communication skills, they were kind of distant. They of course they love each other. Of course they were married, but they didn't really show that affection and really communicate in front of me and my brother throughout our childhood. So they were more behind the scenes. Hey, we need to talk about this. Let's wait till the kids go to bed, or not in front of the kids. Hey, y'all go outside. So me and my brother really didn't have that example of what communication looked like and how that it would introduce ourselves into that type of relationship. So to me, not that approach is wrong, because a lot of people may believe that's right, but for me, I just felt as though that I needed that type of transparency. I needed my parents to be able to show me that. I needed to see that, because I always was the type that will call a spade a spade. So for me, it was always, I wanted to have that type of transparency with my children, so they don't need to go elsewhere to reference what that would look like. Because that's what I did as a child, and as a teenager, as a young adult. Because I didn't see it in my parents, and they didn't display that. I started looking to mainstream media, or I started looking, so I started looking at other places for where my mom and my dad were the perfect people to emulate that, but they just didn't. So to me, I was like, I have to be extremely vulnerable with my children to allow them to see this, and that's the approach that I felt as though that I needed to take, not only as a man but as a father, and we kind of agreed upon that. That was the approach that we want to take collectively. So I don't know.
That's dope.
Said, what communication did we come up with? For me, I seen a lot of, I would say, I've seen my family talk to men in a, oh my gosh, in a way that isn't healthy. I've seen them call them all type of names. I've seen them like basically act out, talking to like their spouse or their partner, and I took that into our
relationship.
I took that into what the two of us had, and I had to like take time and just look at how what. Oh my gosh, I'm like sitting trying to think. I'm like kind of nervous. Hold on.
No, you good. Listen, take your time, sis. We got time. Take your time.
Thank you. But basically, I had to look at my sister and my mom and my aunts and all of them, and say, do I want to end up how those people seem to have ended up, or do I need to make certain changes?
Wow.
And that's and that is basically what I have had. Had to had to change was talking to him in a more open, warm, honest, respectful way compared to what I was accustomed to seeing.
That makes sense. Wow, that's powerful. And I guess for Ryan, like, how was that for you? Like on the receiving end of that, as a
it probably was painful.
I mean, it wasn't really painful because I was callous to it at that point. I mean,
okay,
and yeah, I was callous, but like what I mean by but it's not like she was like a tyrant. So
I didn't even
yeah, it wasn't like she was a tyrant. So when we had the type of situation, if she went through my phone, was stuff that was in my phone that had no business being in my phone. If I'm talking to this person, I'm out in the streets, I'm doing this. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you just acting crazy. Like, nah, like something got us to that point. So
yeah,
okay.
So it wouldn't be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting crazy? Like, it's something I did to trigger this. It's something that I did to bring this upon me. So in that aspect, I wasn't naive to the point that I'm like, okay, she's like a psychopath. Like, no, like this is legit emotion. So that's why I said I was callous to, because I know I brought part of it on. But as we progressed and we really made a conscious decision that we were going to be together, that's when it really started to affect me, because like now I'm doing everything right. Like I'm out, I'm not in the streets anymore. I'm not talking to this person. I'm not at the casino, I'm not at the bar. Like I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. And you're still treating me, still talking to me in this manner. And I'm like, yo, I don't deserve this. Like I don't want that. So that's where it really became.
Tell me that, y'all, all the time.
Like, bro,
I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk to me like that. So I'm like, what?
Yeah, then you start getting all macho. You start be like, well, you driving a car. I put gas.
You
living in this house. You got this, that, and the third. Like I'm doing all this for you. Like
picked you up from the project.
Yeah, I picked you up the projects.
Tell me that, y'all, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop, Ryan. You did not take me from the projects.
Well, we lived in the projects together.
Yeah, but you didn't take me out of it.
Okay,
but
yeah, that's how it is. So it's like arrogant, but overall it wasn't. It started to affect me during that time, but then it was to the point where I had to really sit back and be sympathetic and empathetic to her. Like, okay, what is really going on? And I realized that it's nothing I could do to fix it. And that's where the journey of self-love. That was
a personal thing.
So that's when we kind of had to separate, kind of to a certain point. I mean, not physically separate, but within our communication skill, we had to, nothing that I could do to change her at that point. That's not my job, my responsibility. But we both took up the mantle of self-love, or almost identically. And and that's when but it wasn't planned. So it was like once she went on her path, I went on my path of self-love. When we came back together, you have what you have in front of you now.
We are today.
Yeah, so it's
getting better and better.
That's dope. No, that's amazing. And Ryan, move over from me just a little bit. I know you're out of the shot just a little bit.
Turn the chair.
No. Yeah, there you go. But keep coming a little bit, brother. Right there. You good. Okay, y'all good right there. That's perfect. Okay. No, that's dope, man. And you know what's crazy? Because I wanted to ask this question too, to follow up with that. Because a lot of people think, like, when it comes to communication, right, that communication is just how you communicate in an argument, how you communicate, if you have to talk to your partner about something. But I want to ask too, a part of communication, right? A part of communication is actually listening too, right? And I don't mean hearing, I mean listening. So how did you all learn how to listen to each other, right? Because everyone likes to be heard differently. Like, for me, if I'm talking, to someone and they're on their phone, like, to me, that's not like, yo, I need you to actively listen, because I don't think you're actively listening while you're on your phone, even though you may actually be listening. So how did you all like show up to actually like listening to to each other? Because I know that journey wasn't easy as well, So
I think one thing that people overlook is that active listening is literally a tool. It's literally a component of life. So if you, it's kind of like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, if you don't work at it, you can't expect for it to grow. So for us actively listening and everything like that, it literally took practice. It literally took these say, hey, Ryan, I need you to not be on your phone. I need you to look at me. I need you to and really set that.
I need that. Yeah. I need the eyes to turn to me, come
close.
Like turn the football game off. Like do all that. Like I need you listening. Yeah. So it's setting that type of parameters when you say, hey, this is my rules. These are the rules of engagement. This is what I need for you in this moment. And once you lay that out, that's going to make it even easier because simply you know what the do's and the don'ts are. Then as far as the active listening part, you gotta have to want to do it.
You gotta want to change.
Talk about it.
You gotta want to change.
And be honest.
It's change.
Yeah, it is. You have to be honest about it. Because there's been times that I've been wanting to talk to D about something, or she been wanting to talk to me. I'm like, not right now, baby.
Yeah,
please.
Like,
just
please.
give me some time.
Please,
not right now.
I'm not caught up yet. I'm not.
It's not right now. And you have to be able to, unless it's a dire emergency, then of course. But you have to be able to again have that respect. To even have that type of conversation because some people like, oh, what you don't want to talk to me right now? The football game more.
That is me like a couple of years ago.
Like
no, probably like 12 months ago, like last year.
Yeah.
That was definitely like, no, I'm gonna talk today, this time. No, like I'm not gonna be put on pause. No, we're gonna talk about it right now.
And the other piece is recognizing that what listening really is. So if you're not listening to a conversation that is meaningful, you're not doing it out of a pure place because your mind is somewhere else. Your mind is you're trying to process.
Trying to say something back.
Say something back. So you need to be in a place of purity when you're calm, you're relaxed, you don't have other things stimulating in your mind. So it's also respectful and conducive to the relationship if you're saying, hey, I just had a long day at work, or I just got off the phone with 2 clients and I'm trying to decompress. My mind isn't where it needs to be in order for me to give you the active listening that you desired. So you have to recognize that as well and just say, not all humans have the ability to flip a switch and be able to go from being a entrepreneur or whatever hat they have on to being an active listener within a matter of seconds. So you have to recognize that those components and build that into your relationship. So for us, it's always going back to the honesty and that vulnerability and just respecting each other and setting those foundations when we know that, hey, we're trying to talk about something, and I need you to listen. We have to either set that time aside or make sure that that's the appropriate time for us to do that because you don't want to spill your whole heart out of what's going on into a situation and the other person really didn't receive because they're tired or they're emotionally drained at that point. They're not there. So you just have to make sure that ground is fertile.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's so real. And so, yo, y'all, man, you dropping gems. Y'all dropping gems on me. But listen. Because that leads me to a question I always wanted to ask y'all. Like, in moments where y'all like are not okay, like how do y'all communicate that to each other? In moments where D's like, yo, today it's not it for me. Like I really can't show up to listen to you for real. I'm just like I'm just not, maybe I'm off my routine or something, or she's just not here. Like, how do y'all communicate moments like y'all are not okay? You know what I'm saying, to each other. If you're having a bad day.
Ron, don't look at me. I was gonna say that we can pretty much tell.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like I'm trying to think it out. Like,
take your time, D. Take your time.
Thank you. Like, I can pick it up just like this.
Okay.
Like, I can say, oh, no. What that happened because you was off today. And then that's when, like.
So it doesn't really conversation. That conversation that you're referring to.
We don't have to have.
It's not even a conversation. It's that subconscious and that secrecy that
that's about the energy.
The energy that we have and pay to pick it up because it's times where like I'll be dead sleep all night and I think I slept good. And D like, why don't you sleep good last night?
I'm like, yo,
and we're both knocked out. We're like, yo, you could pick up that person's energy. I'll walk through the door and she can just pick up on my aura immediately. Like, all right, what's going on?
Come on, kids. Let's all go upstairs.
So we don't that conversation doesn't exist now because we're so intertwined and when we pick up on each other's energy at such a efficient pace that the conversation isn't I need this space. It was more like who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like what's going
happened?
on? Like you want to talk about it now or whatnot. So it's, that conversation doesn't really exist. But how we got to that point is, again, going back to what we said earlier. Once you go to that journey of self-love and you commit to that, the secrecy of your relationship, some things just fall off. Like I literally, things literally just fall off your relationship because you have done what the relationship deemed for you to do. So like I said, we've gone on a year, some change without even a fight. Like literally, like no arguments. Like because we're just not in that place, because most of the time communication is at the top of that reason why you have those type of fights or arguments. It goes to trust. It goes to like in all different types. Those things don't exist within. Well, I say the lack of trust, the lack of communication. Those things just naturally fell off our relationship, where we're just in a place where it's just happiness. It's just a place of purity where we can have a conversation without it even ending or going to a fight. So it's like we're just at a place of just total unity where a lot of those things just naturally and organically fell off.
Right. No, that's a fact, and I think too with that, right? It's you know, it's a difference between, you know, arguments and fights and just healthy communication. Because in that year or so, you know, y'all can still have disagreements, but it never got to the point where, you know what I'm saying, where y'all was mad at each other, or where y'all was upset, or where y'all were ready, someone was ready to leave the house. Like y'all still had those disagreements, but it was just healthy communication that allowed y'all to, you know, settle that disagreement in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. So, which is amazing.
And people make disagreements out to be a bad thing. They're literally a good thing. I don't want to see things the exact same way she wants to. They're really good. So we embrace that. So it's like if she sees something that I don't see, or she believes something that I don't believe, or vice versa, that we don't even see that as a negative thing. It's like, oh, okay, school me to this. Help me understand. Like, give me more information about this, or what have you thought about this? So that's another reason why I haven't got to a point where it will be considered a fight or even a disagreement at that point, because it doesn't even get to that level. It doesn't even. It's literally a loving, caring conversation. Yeah, it's a part of the conversation. So it don't even get to that point. So that's opportunity for us to grow and learn each other on a more intimate level. So that's why you can go a year plus without any of those type of strenuous, draining.
I quit.
It just organically fell off. Like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's amazing, man. That's and I listen. I know I'm so hype and so in tune with it, because I know like it wasn't easy for y'all to get there, and that's what I really want people to see. Like when I'm interviewing these couples, like where they're at, it was a journey. You know what I'm saying? And these questions are allowing me to take them on that journey, so y'all can see that, you know, it wasn't easy to get there.
But it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So I want to end with the question portion with this question, right? Because you know, this what we're talking about is Black love, right? And so I want each of you, if you can, you know, just to give what Black love means to you and why.
Black love.
And how do you embody Black love? How do you two embody Black love?
Well, we don't really see Black as like a
exact same. You want me to just
because
so for us, and I'm gonna speak for myself, but I'm collectively as well. We understand what the term Black love is. We support it. We understand why we have to kind of combat the narrative about how Black individuals receive and portray love. But to us, love is so much past that demographic and so much past that narrative, because it's literally a tool set you up for success. So love for us is more than just a romantic relationship. It's a way of life. It's how you should. That's how your energy, your aura should be projected onto the earth and onto the universe and onto individuals. So to us, it's just not about. It's just not about being in that box or just being in a relationship. It's literally a lifestyle for us. So for me, what does Black love mean to me? It's getting back to the purity of what love is. About me being my best self, because and actually, and we have a pleasure because we have the direct descendants who created everything and was able to articulate that, and we tap into that. So it's like for us, Black love is getting back to the true, unadulterated, them roots, and really exposing the best version of yourself, and using love for that tool to allow your aura to permeate the earth. And that's what Black love means for me. That's for us, I should say.
Yes. Oh, permeate the earth. That's a quote right there, boy. Oh my God. Okay, I love that, man. I love that. But no, man. Thank y'all, man. That was beautiful and that was amazing. because Black love, man, is so important to me. You know, because like I said, you know, when it comes to the Black community, when it comes to pairing love with that, there's just all kind of misconceptions out there, and so I really just wanted to, you know, hear you all's opinion on that, just because of those misconceptions, which we talked about last night in Clubhouse, which was dope. By the way, too. So, but no, so I want to kind of end the question portion right there. So if y'all have questions for Ryan and D, definitely go ahead and place them into the chat. If you're on YouTube, place them into the chat. Facebook Live, place them into the chat. And then we're going to get to those questions. But I want to play a game with y'all too. And you know, that's okay with y'all. And so the game portion, I'm going to ask y'all questions, right? And then y'all as a collective have to pick who does it first or who does it more. So I'm going to ask questions like, who said I love you first? And then you're going to basically, you know, pick who you think it was within those questions, right? Okay. So here we go. The first question is, who cried first in front of each other?
Oh, that was hard. Come on, D. Stop. You know
Okay, that was D. Okay. Who said I love you first?
It had to be you.
It was definitely you, Brian. Brian, I know you, bro.
Yeah, but this is the thing, and you gonna know I'm being honest. It was a I love you with empty calories. I did not mean it. It was a form of manipulation.
Yeah,
so I did say I love, but I didn't mean it in a way that's supposed to be meant. I used it as a tool of manipulation at the point.
Okay, I give you that. Okay, cool. Okay, who asked who out first?
Ron, you asked me when we were on the bus.
Nah, but it's more.
We was on the bus.
It was me, but it was more to that story though. It was more to that story.
I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
You know the story.
Listen, and this goes out. I hope that Tate's watching. It's Brandon Tate's fault. And matter of fact, I'm about to send some Uber Eats, so I have to send something in the mail. It's all Brandon Tate's fault.
Send something.
Send something in the mail because he allowed for this relationship. He's the one that started it. It was a bet. He bet me that I couldn't back her. And I'm like, what, Tate? You know, he said, yeah, she ain't gonna have it. Like, she got her head on straight. Like, she don't be this, that, and third. I said, what, bro? Like, what are you talking about? And Tate started the ball. So it started off as a bet between me and Tate, and it got to this point.
That's sad.
Hey, shout out to Tate, because Tate might be the reason. Hey, y'all even. Hey, that's dope. Shout out to Brandon Tate. So that's dope. Okay. Who spends the most money?
Oh my gosh. Probably. This is probably like up until like 2000 and like.
Up until like last year,
like 2018, 2000, yeah, up until like
last year,
I would be always telling him, Ryan, you don't need that. Yo, stop spending that. Like, yo, that costs too much. Like, oh my gosh. I used to hate it. Like, I used to hate it. Like, yo, like, yeah, him.
Right. Okay. Hey, and Ryan ain't say one word, so I had to tell him it must be true. So it must be true. Okay. Who's more emotional?
Bam.
Oh, listen, and she wore it proudly. That's what I love.
It's okay to be emotional. It's not okay to be overly emotional. Like,
he tells me that all the time. I'm like,
okay.
This is just how I am. Like, I be crying, looking at things on TV.
Bro, a Tyler Perry movie should end up in tears, bro.
I will cry from
like,
hey.
Yeah. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'll cry off of pretty much all things on TV. Okay, hey, but listen.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Who's the jokester?
Oh, that's.
I don't play jokes. I don't play games and all that. I don't like it.
That's me all the. So I have a fun time playing with her, like all the time, because I'm a joyful, happy person. Like, that's what I do, bro. Like,
I am too, but not in.
I like to joke. I like to play around. I like to prank. I like to do it all.
Yeah. He likes to prank and he likes to no, that's not.
Okay,
that's all of you all day.
I can definitely. Listen, and the funny thing is, I knew the answer to that question when asking it. So, okay, so my last one, dang, it just left my head what I was about to ask you all.
Oh, come back.
Dang, what was okay? I just lost it. But we do got some questions though, so I want to make sure we get to the question portion. So we got some questions in from YouTube, from my YouTube viewers. Shout out to Shannon Burke in the building. Appreciate you joining in from YouTube, Shannon. Make sure y'all put your questions in the chat for Ryan and D. Her first question is, how has your communication strengthened since quarantine?
A whole lot.
Ooh, that's a question.
Yeah, I mean, it just allowed us that time to be together to actually work on it. So it wasn't no excuse at the point for us not to come out of quarantine better as individuals and as a couple. So we know when I'm not working 65, 70 hours or more, or I'm working from home when I'm doing this, it allowed us the opportunity to do it. So when a lot of people said 2020 sucked and 2020 was the worst year ever, I have to say, as an individual and as a couple, it was the best year for us because we had the time to actually dig in and do the things that we always knew that was important, but we necessarily didn't have the time. We didn't plan the time for us, so that gave us the perfect opportunity for us to do those things.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So shout out to Shannon for that. Shannon has another question too. What advice would you give your younger self about proper communication with your significant other?
Ooh. Well, what she thinks to me, I would tell the younger Ryan to basically. Go ahead.
I would tell myself to talk with love.
Wow.
Because y'all, I am telling you, this tongue could have cut a freaking this tongue was super sharp.
Yeah.
It was sharp, and I would tell me to talk with love and not with pain or not with hurt or not with all of those other things. I would talk.
That makes sense.
And it kind of second what we talked about earlier, I would just say to my younger self, to go down your journey of self-love, because once I was able to heal some of the stuff that I had in baggage I was able to communicate better. I didn't have to manipulate. I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to cheat. I didn't have to try to be a bully or tyrant. So once I was able to heal those type of things, it allowed me for me to be the best version of myself, and resulting in the results that we see in front of us now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And it's actually that's amazing. And this allows me to lead me to my the one in the game question I was going to ask you. I just remembered it. Who is the talker? And I know the answer to this, but just for the people.
I would say I would say that we both talk.
No, it's definitely her. It's definitely you.
I talk, y'all, but I just
she don't talk on camera.
Yeah,
but she can listen. I lied to you now. She talked the whole way from Ocean City, Maryland, back to Harrisburg.
He's not lying.
4.5, 5 hours the whole time.
But I was talking about things that
it don't matter.
Things that
don't matter.
Important.
It don't matter. Not one song we was ever listening to.
I can talk, but I just don't. Yeah, I'm just not comfortable talking to certain people or just talking on this. But I'm probably the most talkative.
That makes sense.
I would say in private. And and he is the most talkative in public, because all y'all know that makes sense. He starts.
Listen, I know he can go. My man can go.
He can go. So.
My man, listen,
both talkative though.
I gotta tell this story for the people, right? I have, and Ryan know what I'm about to tell. I promise you, Ryan is by far the best talker you will ever meet, and I truly mean this from the bottom. And this is a little off topic, but it's so funny. Me and Ryan went to college together for a year, right? And so I didn't have a car at that time, but Ryan had a car. Ryan had a fly car too. We had the Chrysler with the rims on it. We was them guys, you know. And so we used to travel home often, but Ryan would, Ryan pop that 5-hour energy, and he would do like 90, right? But literally, we were going home. We got pulled over 4 times. I cannot lie to you all. We got pulled over. I'm gonna put my hands up so y'all can see it. 4 times, right? We didn't get one speeding ticket. We didn't get not one speeding ticket because this man can talk his way. Oh man, it was crazy. And I'm just sitting over there. I'm like this the whole time, like, what the hell going on? Like, how the hell? Because if that was me, I'd have been stuttering. I'd have been a little nervous. I'd have been like, oh man. So I had to tell that story. That was funny. That used to always happen with us though. I'm not seeing the comments from Facebook. I'm not sure why. So I'm not sure if y'all can pull them up. If anyone has any questions from the live Facebook.
Carl, yo, bro, Carl was on here. Yo, Carl, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Carl?
Reunion.
Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all put in the comments what y'all drinking on. We really would appreciate what y'all put in the comments what y'all drinking on. We over here drinking on this Sauvignon Blanc, 2018. So, does anyone have any questions in the Facebook chat at all?
No, they didn't have any questions. She just
putting comments.
They just putting comments in there.
Okay, we got to fix that on the back end. That's probably my bad. Why I can't see the Facebook comments or something. But I can see the YouTube ones, but not the Facebook ones. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that. But yeah, I mean that's all the questions that we have. I just want to thank y'all so much for opening and sharing y'all journey when it comes to communication in a relationship, because it really does mean a lot. This is the first episode, season 1 of Uncut and Uncorked, and I told y'all I had to go get the family, Ryan and D. And so just to kind of close, I want y'all to individually talk about like your own businesses and things y'all are working on, and like maybe what are some things they could catch, or where can they tune in to find these things out if y'all wanted to promote anything. So
I don't.
Well, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do. This episode of Uncorked and Uncut has been sponsored by Permanent Body Care.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Listen,
I know.
if y'all ashy, y'all need some chakra driven products that's really going to just not be for skincare, but it's really going to be in tune with your mind, body, and spirit. Permeate Body Care. You can find that at www.permeatebodycare.com. And just
Back to Mama.
Back to Mama. We have
LLC.com.
At Back to Mama LLC.com. We have a melanated driven website that's just all about our people. Where
let me get my earrings. Hold on, y'all. I forgot about my earrings.
Where we really try to promote our own culture and our own blackness to its extent, and try to just to put alternatives out there for individuals to be able to wear that's a social and to accessorize with. Then myself,
I ain't gonna post them all, but here go pair that is posted.
We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it.
Yes,
we love it.
Back to Mama.
We love it.
Back to Mama LLC.com. Then for myself, as Dwayne said earlier, I'm a certified life coach. So my whole mission is to be able to elevate individuals to be the best version of themselves, so they can be the most I would say effective in whatever genre of life that they're in. So if that's a teenager, if that's a young man, a more mature man, if that's even in a commercial
link on here.
On the link, but that's even in a commercial setting. I honestly believe in order for you to be the best version, you have to dig out the time to be the best version of yourself. And once you become the best version of yourself, everything that you touch, everything that you are in the midst of doing will have no choice but to elevate, because you are the best version of you.
Facts.
I'm gonna put our links.
Facts. And for those who don't know, Ryan is a life coach, so make sure y'all follow him on Instagram, Elevating Kings. But I will post all that information on here when I repost this video, the playback on YouTube and also Facebook as well. So I will also make sure I add all of that too. But we did get one more question before we add. We got one from YouTube. Flourish KL asks, do you all believe, or do you YouTube believe there is a thing such as over communication?
Over communication. Over communication. I would like for that to be kind of defined differently, so we can have a better understanding. But I don't think
like you tell.
It's like micromanaging maybe. Like if you tell them too much, I don't think it's exactly. But how I perceive it, it's like a form of kind of like control, or a form of like micromanaging within a relationship. Okay. I don't think that's beneficial, because that's basically saying that you really don't trust, or you have to be in control. So in that aspect, that is I wouldn't recommend that. You really need to check that why you feel as though that you have the micromanager or always be in charge. But overall, I don't think it's such thing as over communicating, because you always want to be on the same page, and the only way you can be on the same page is by communicating.
No, I would agree, man. Well, again, thank y'all for everybody tuning in, because we got 17 people watching. I think the highest we had was like 30. So shout out to the folks tuning in. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and checking out this video. Again, it's your first episode of Uncut and Uncorked. The first season is all about Black love, and this first one is the art of communication. So we just really appreciate y'all tuning in. D and Ryan, I can't express how much I appreciate y'all for tuning in, because this is a big moment for me. So I really appreciate y'all coming on this show and being on this show, because y'all know how much I love y'all, and I know how much y'all support me, and I support y'all. And so thank y'all so much for being on this show, because it means a lot, man. So,
bro, the love's mutual. You know, we love you too, bro. And it's like us again. We're honored that you allowed us to come on for your first episode and debut with us today. It's literally an honor. But we love what you're doing. We're so excited what you're going to do and how you're going to bring so much healing and so much promise, not only to this platform but to our people. So we love you for it, bro.
Listen, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Next week we back, same time, same day. Next week we back. We talking about they're the one. So we talking about being the one and what the one is and what that looks like when it comes to Black love. And so we got an amazing couple I'm going to post on my Instagram. So make sure you follow my Instagram, Earthly Vine. And I'm going to post today why I changed my name from the Beard God to Earthly Vine. So y'all going to hear about that as well too, which is super dope. So again, shout out to y'all. I know you don't got no wine, but I just want to give y'all a virtual cheers. You know, this show is all about giving you y'all roses while y'all here, and y'all doing great things. So I'm going to give you y'all roses if nobody else do. So I just want to do a virtual cheers for y'all. I'm going to take a sip. I know y'all detoxing, but I'm going to take a sip for y'all. And so thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. And shout out to the people. Make sure y'all go, for my Facebook followers, y'all can go catch the playback on YouTube, which Uncut and Uncorked is the YouTube channel. So make sure y'all like and subscribe. You know, my YouTube channel, Uncut and Uncorked. And yeah, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. So we'll see y'all next week. Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you, bro. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.